If you're on the hunt for a pro level controller without the pro level price tag, you might want to pay attention to this one. Today we're checking out the Beitong Kunpeng 40, a controller that's packed with features like adjustable resistance, TMR sensors in the thumbsticks and triggers, and a whole lot more. After this review, if you're interested in picking one up, check out the AliExpress link in the description below and don't forget to use my discount code to get $4 off. Let's see how this budget-friendly option stacks up. Let's start with the unboxing. The packaging is solid with some nice graphics on the front and back that highlight the key features. It's a pretty sleek presentation overall. Inside, we've got the controller sitting securely with foam protectors on the thumbsticks. It's a nice touch to keep things safe in transit. You'll also find a user manual, a USB dongle for wireless connectivity, and a USB cable. Right out of the box, the controller feels solid. It's lightweight but sturdy. There's no flex in the plastic. The surface is textured, giving it just the right amount of grip without feeling cheap. The optical switch face buttons are crispy and satisfying to press. The D-pad features 8 directional switches and feels responsive to the touch. It's definitely a plus for fighting games or precise movement. The TMR triggers are light to the touch, and there's even a travel distance adjustment switch to make them even more responsive depending on what you're playing. It's a thoughtful detail that adds to the controller's versatility. Moving on to the features, the Beitong KP40 has a familiar ergonomic shape that fits naturally in the hands. The grips are contoured well, and the textured finish adds just the right amount of friction without feeling rough. The button layout follows a standard Xbox style design with offset thumbsticks, responsive D-pad, and optical switch face buttons that feel super crisp. There are also programmable back buttons that come in clutch for competitive gameplay or custom inputs. In terms of connectivity, it's super versatile. You've got wired mode, 2.4 GHz wireless using the included USB dongle, and Bluetooth 5.3 for reliable low latency connection. It's also compatible with the Nintendo Switch. What really sets the KP40 apart is its use of TMR or tunnel magnetoresistance sensors in both the thumbsticks and triggers. TMR is a step beyond the common Hall effect tech. While Hall sensors detect magnetic changes in one direction, TMR sensors detect resistance changes across a quantum tunnel junction, allowing for significantly higher precision and better durability over time. Basically, that means you get smoother, more accurate analog input and way less chance of stick drift down the road. The TMR triggers are light and incredibly responsive, and there's even a physical trigger travel switch so you can shorten or lengthen the pull depending on the game. Next up, let's talk about the software. As soon as you launch it, the software checks for firmware updates automatically. This is a nice touch to make sure your controller is always running the latest version. On the home screen, you've got quick access to a bunch of useful settings like polling rate, sleep timer, indicator light behavior, motion sensor mapping, vibration intensity, and rear button mapping. It's a clean, intuitive layout that makes tweaking things fast and easy. One of the highlights here is the ability to fine-tune the response curves of the thumbsticks. You can pick from several presets or dial in your own custom curve depending on how you want your input to feel. There are options to adjust dead zones and outer edge response, and you can even assign hotkeys to switch between different curves on the fly. No need to reopen the software mid-game. The same goes for the TMR triggers. You can precisely adjust their dead zones and even enable a fast trigger response mode. This gives you quicker actuation and more control, and is especially useful for shooters and rhythm games. Every single button can be remapped, including the motion sensor controls. You also get full control over vibration settings and RGB lighting effects, all accessible from the side menu. Alright, now let's talk about the gaming performance. This is where the KP40 really shines. Surprisingly, even Bluetooth performance felt very responsive. It's totally fine for casual games or platformers, but if you're jumping into anything fast-paced like shooters or fighting games, you'll want to stick with either wired or 2.4 GHz wireless for the best low latency experience. I've been testing it in Warzone, especially since Verdansk just came back, and the KP40 was instantly recognized with no setup required. It just worked out of the box. The thumbsticks are incredibly responsive, even to the smallest inputs. Since there's absolutely no stick drift, I was able to set the dead zone to 0, which made aiming feel super snappy and responsive. I choked up the trigger response so there's only 2mm of movement and near instant response with 0 dead zones set on the TMR triggers. It feels like a hair trigger setup and makes a real difference in competitive play. One of my favorite features is the adjustable stick resistance rings. You can change the resistance from 30 to 90 grams of force. I like to set my right stick for aiming to the max setting of 90 to give me more precise control. Then I set the left stick lower for quick snappy movement changes. The back buttons are also clutch for a game like Call of Duty where movement is everything. I mapped jump and slide to the back buttons, which makes slide canceling feel seamless. Once you get used to it, it's hard to go back. Ergonomically, the controller stayed comfortable even during longer sessions. It's a bit smaller than a standard Xbox controller, slightly thinner with longer handles. So if you have larger hands, you might notice that, but personally, it still felt really good to hold. Now on the downside, I did notice that the resistance rings tend to loosen a bit over time. I found myself needing to readjust them every 30 minutes or so. It's not a deal breaker, but it would be nice if the setting locked in a little better. The thumbsticks have a nice grippy texture, the face buttons are crisp and responsive, and overall the performance of this controller is seriously impressive. I'd honestly say the experience is right up there with my Xbox Elite Series 2, which costs pretty much 2 or 3 times as much. The Elite 2 still has the edge in build materials and grip texture, and I love the swappable thumbsticks with different shapes and heights. It's a level of customizability you can't quite match out of the box, but for a third of the price and with potentially even more responsive inputs thanks to the TMR thumbsticks and triggers, the KP40 is an amazing value and a legit competitor. After testing the Beitong KP40, it's clear that this controller punches well above its weight. With TMR sensors, customizable features, and a price that won't break the bank, it's definitely one to consider if you're looking for a high performance controller without spending top dollar. What do you think? Is it the best budget option out there? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss any future reviews. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.